Hi there! If you're new to my sessions, these are the key takeaways you can expect. I'll cover Wyckoff stages for Ethereum both in the weekly and daily time frames, and also the key price levels that Ethereum may find support or resistance. And finally, any breakout timing, and in this case, in 10 days time. When we get to the daily chart, we'll cover that and I'll show you why I say it's going to be within the next 10 days. Now we're looking at the weekly chart of Wyckoff, Ethereum. These are Wyckoff tags, and let's focus on the blue ones first, because that's the more likely scenario instead of the PSY, like yellow PSY, these tags. This yellow set is another scenario that's potentially true as well, because during the PSY period there will be initial pause, like horizontal trading area before reaching the actual buying climax, while the blue scenario consider what happened in July was the buying climax for Ethereum, and eventually late August we had the upthrust. Now, previously we shared that there is a chance for the price to come down for a sign of weakness. While this may have already happened, especially during that week of October 10th, but it hasn't closed. The candle hasn't closed around the 300 and 540 level, that blue key level. But now it's trending down and closing below the purple key level of $4,000. Also, this week we see clear suppression or rejection from that area. When the price went above the purple key level, it got rejected to where we are now, staying below 4,000. So this sign of weakness possibility remains at a higher level. And bouncing back up to somewhere at least towards similar level of the previous peak or all-time high, I would say instead of like making a new high, let's revise that to a second test for the time being. That's more likely. I'm just trying to show you if there is really a new all-time high. That's going to be called upthrust for the yellow scenario and upthrust after distribution for the blue scenario. So in the Wyckoff method, there are still stages beyond these peaks that can happen at a higher price level. And let's take a look at the Bollinger Band and Corner Squeeze. Currently there's no squeeze happening. And for Ethereum, the last squeeze that triggered the technical indication was around 2023 during July. We haven't gone through a squeeze period after that. So you see there's no kind of flat horizontal period except this one over here, right? That you can consider a squeeze. A lot of time I mention when one purple line is inside the orange and the other is close enough, you can consider that a squeeze already, even though according to the indicator it has to wait until that line gets into the orange. But see what happens, right? Immediately after, we've got these swings coming. So, as of now, the purple lines are still far from the orange. So, at least from the standpoint of the indicator, not a very big swing is on the way. But that doesn't mean the price can't move. Okay, let's get to the daily chart and see the breakout timing. So we all know, if you have been following my session, this downtrend has started since late August or even mid-August. And we have been in it for 2 months now, and the price still continues within this downtrend, this blue box over here. And we're getting close to a breakout point right there. We've gone through these LPSY, the last point of supply stages for Wyckoff, and heading towards the sign of weakness somewhere along this yellow dashed line or even lower. But then the breakout time point, even though it may still be within this downward channel, if we line up these tips of the candlesticks, and also the ones at the bottom, except the October 10th, that's an outlier. So here we see it's pointing towards somewhere near November 4th. That's the very tip of this wedge. So if the price continues to trade along this yellow dashed line, which is the level where we had our sign of weakness back in end of September, then eventually the breakout will happen. If it breaks towards the upside, it's probably, or it must, challenge the 4,000, the purple key level. If it breaks above, we would be able to see another challenge to the ceiling of this downward channel. That's somewhere around 4,500. So the key is whether it's going to go past it this time and set or challenge the last all-time high. Okay, that's the significance of breaking out to the upside, challenging the ceiling of this downward channel, maybe even finishing it, like discontinuing this downtrend. Or if it doesn't, if it falls towards the downside, there are dual support. One is this downtrend bottom edge, and then the blue key level of around 3,540. Okay, so that's another key thing, but towards the downside, because if it falls outside of this downward channel, that means it's probably falling at a steeper rate. So we don't see that now because I haven't drawn it. There's a potential that we may be going through something of a different rate of decline. If the price really breaks out to the downside and falling through this bigger blue box. Okay, so now this point in time is still too early, so I'm not going to put this box over here. I'm just showing you the potential scenario if the breakout comes to the downside. Alright, the volume themselves, they are pretty much average. It's not too crazy. It's only that particular day that looks odd. Other than that, we have been around these levels since end of August. So not many people are getting in or going out, basically. They are waiting for a directional change. That's why nobody makes a big move. But when this thing happens in like a week or two's time, that may trigger a big move. That's going to deviate from what we have been going through. Okay, so Ethereum, similar to Bitcoin, breakout is getting near in about 10 to 14 days time. Let's see what's going to happen, and always have your best friend ready. See you in the next session. Oh, SCRT and HBAR. HBAR I covered just yesterday, so you can check the live sessions record. And SCRT, I'll see what gets into the roster this time. Thanks for asking.